friends. Today I want to talk with you about what I call buttonholing a chain stitch. Buttonholing is not really a verb, but that's what we're going to call it here. These two ideas are used on the roof line of the Home Tweet Home quilt. And so they both start with a chain stitch. And so this is going to be the last house, and we're going to buttonhole it reverse back and forth. And this one we're going to buttonhole the whole thing. So start on whichever side that you want, just outside of the chain stitch right here. Okay. And then we're going to lay it down, lay it this direction, and go under the chain but over the thread. Lay the next one down under the chain, over the thread. The first one doesn't create a line, but after that you're creating a line under the chain, over the thread. Can you see how it's creating that little ridge right there on the outside? What we're going to do is pack as many of these in as we can fit on this side. So keep them snug. Under the chain, over the thread. Okay, I'm going to lay it down and kind of play with it so that you can see that I'm getting it as full as I can. I think even keeping that snug, if I shove those around like that, keeping it snug, if I twist them around like this, I can still fit a couple more on there. And that's the look I'm going for, is that curve or that full look. Since this is essentially a buttonhole stitch where the fabric is just the thread, the chain thread. That's why I call it buttonholing it. All right, do you think we can fit one more, or do you think that's it? Let's go with that being it. Now we're going to go down right here on the outside again, because I want it to stay looking like that. Now, for that one in particular, rather than going all along one side or going along both sides, I went to the opposite side. And so if you take a close look at that, let's take a look at that roof line. Can you see how I buttonholed? I took turns buttonholing one on each side. Okay, again, thread goes this way, you go under and over. And your first one is a little awkward because the chain isn't already there. But if you just keep going under I keep spinning it around. Under the green, over the pink in my case. Just keep it snug. You'll notice in this case it will start to pull the chain so that this ends up looking like more like a straight line, and this ends up looking like the scalloped line. Okay, under and over, under the chain, over the thread, under the chain, over the thread. Am I holding it where you can see? Under the chain, over the thread. Let's turn it this way and see if I can manage to stay better in one spot. Under the chain, over the thread. 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 Looks like I can squeeze one more in there. Now, if I don't squeeze one more in there, it will be more the same size. So I think I'm going to skip that. These will space out just a little bit. So let's go down in and come up on the other side of the third chain. Same deal. Under the chain, over the thread. Let's try pulling this one this way so that you can see it. Remember, your thread goes the direction that you are going. We're going, let me point my needle. We are going that way. So our thread, our pink thread, is going to lay that way. And then we go under the chain, over the thread. Under the chain, over the thread. Lay the chain, lay your thread out this way so that when you go under the chain, it's right where you need it to be to go over the thread. Lay it out this way. It looks like mine are getting some twisties in them. I might need to hold my project up in the air and let the thread dangle and untwist. All right, there we go. All right, lay the pink the direction you're going. Under the chain, over the thread. Under the chain, over the thread. under the chain, over the thread. Let's look and see, evaluate how many more we think we can fit on there. Well, there's still some room, and I want them to be about the same size, so I think I need to do 1 or 2 more. Over the chain, under the thread. Okay, now we're just going to go back down in. Okay, so this one is alternating on a chain, and you can see how it's hard to even recognize the fact that it's a chain because it does pull the excess to the side that has been buttonholed. Let's go do the other one now. Okay, on this one, I wanted to fill the whole loop with chains. So it's the same concept, but instead of stopping at the halfway point, when you get to right here, you're just going to jump over the next chain and go around. So let's start on this, on the left of this side, and same thing. Our thread will be going that way, so we'll lay out our pink thread. Under the chain, over the thread. Under the chain, over the thread. Under the chain, over the thread. And I need to undo my twisties again. Under the chain, over the thread. Looks like I can probably fit 3 more in there. Under the chain, over the thread. All right, I don't want to pull all of my thread the way this one pulled all of it and left this straight, especially that one right there. I don't want to do that because I want both sides to be equivalently full. So now I'm going to skip over to the opposite side. So I'm going to flip it around. You can do one in the middle if you want, but that one has to go through the background. So you'll go down in here. That's how you'll go under the chain, is to go in your background and over top of the pink thread. That'll give you the one in the middle. And now we're going to go back down the other side. My thread keeps twisting. Woohoo. All right, let's go back down the other side. Lay the thread the direction we're going. Go under the chain, over top of the thread. Make sure that it's where you can see it and pull. Under the chain, over the thread, and pull. Under the chain, over the thread. On this one, the background color of your chain almost disappears because you are essentially covering it with this little half hitch stitch or buttonhole stitch or blanket stitch if it were further apart. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We want it to stay mostly round. It looks like I need to do one more. So let's do one more. We want it to be uniform side to side. All right, now let's go down in there. And now to continue this one, if you look at our sample, it's come out at the base of the next one. And you do exactly the same thing on this one. So those are 2 ways that you can buttonhole a chain stitch. If you've enjoyed this information, we would love it if you would join our newsletter. Look for the link below this video.